Hello, everyone. Eli here from Phantom Trading. I've been getting a few questions lately on how I've been scalping the strategy, so I thought it'd be very prudent to make a short video explaining how I do so. But before I get into it, I'll just mention a couple things. If you're just starting out with this strategy, I don't recommend you digging into scalping right away. Take your time with it. Not that you're not intelligent enough to understand it, but I think it can be very the lower time frame has a lot of noise and it could be very confusing, and then it could lead you to missing out on the bigger picture with the bigger higher time frame moves. So just take your time with it, and then eventually it's all going to mesh together, and you'll quickly see how fractal the market is, which I'm going to touch on a little bit here. Yeah, and that being said, also I highly recommend you check out Brad and Blackwatch's videos on liquidity. They do a very good job of explaining liquidity, how it works, and basically why this strategy works the way it does and how it can be so precise. I'm only going to touch on it a little bit. I'm just going to explain how I used it for as a confluence. So yeah, so let's go right into it. So as you can see up here on my little text note here, this is how I'm going to start my day, right? So number one, I want to know what the 1 hour bias is. Okay. And then from there, I'm going to be solely focusing on 15-minute structure. Okay. So breaks of structure and order blocks on the 15-minute. So let's say we have a break of structure on the 15-minute, we find our order block, and then what we'll do is we'll refine it down to the 5-minute, and then simply, this is up to you. I personally like to take the reduced risk, and I'll wait for a break of structure on the 1-minute and take it on the order block on the 1-minute. Or if you want, you could take it right off the 5-minute order block. It's totally up to you. Either one works. All right, so let's dig right into it here. So this is a trade I took on Friday last week. It's a good example here on GU. So as you can see here, well, actually, we should zoom out. Let's stick to my notes here. Go to the 1 hour. Okay. So very quickly, it's easy to tell that we're on an uptrend. Why is that? We got higher highs, higher low, higher highs, higher low. Okay. Don't mind the mess there. It's pretty shitty drawings. But as you can tell, as you can see, sorry, we're in a pretty clear uptrend. Okay. So now that we have that established, let's zoom right in. So go down the 15-minute, and let's move it back here like this. Okay, and now as you can see here, we are trending on the 15-minute. Okay, we have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So once again, we are in an uptrend. Okay, so this is good. So we want to look for longs. So let's get this guy out. So what do we have here? We have a nice little break of structure, or break of the high here on the 15-minute. Okay, me personally, I like to wait for an actual body close above the high. So like this right here, this isn't considered a break for me. So I'll wait for an actual close above. So we have a break, and if we look left, we have this order block here. Okay, let's do this with a very minimal bit of inefficiency. So what we're going to do is we're going to refine it. Go down the 5-minute, as you can see here. This is the nice little candle before the actual momentum that kicks in. So this is the order block I'm going to be focusing on now. This is my area of interest. Okay. So let's play this out here as we move down. All right, let's go to the 1-minute now. Now here, this can be tempting here. We got 2 breaks of structure, but it hasn't tapped in yet. So I'm just gonna be patient and wait. If it goes, it goes. No big deal. So here we are. We're getting tapped in now. Okay. Now let's keep playing here. And boom. So as you can see here, we got this very small bit of structure here. A little pullback here. Creates this little order block. And then breaks above it here. Right? breaks above. So now that we have the break above, this is valid for an entry now. So I'll just redo this here so you guys grasp it here. So I'll get my game box on the 1 minute order block there, and then I'll place my order on the 50%. All right, play it out. I like to keep it this little wick here, like for me it doesn't make sense to put the stop here. I might as well, you know, add a little room, put it to 3 pips and have it below the actual low here. Give it a little bit of room to breathe. All right, so we'll play this out. Wow, that's quick. Now, one thing I want to point out here, don't get too freaked out when you see these breaks of structure here and say, okay, well now it's moved without me, there's no chance of it coming down. That's not true, because remember, we're following 15-minute structure, right? So this order is still valid because we haven't broke the 15-minute structure yet. We're still in this, within this range, the 15-minute range, right? So for me personally, I don't think there's a right or wrong to this, but for me personally, I'm going to keep this order on until we actually have a break of this 15-minute structure. Or if we had a substructure on the 15-minute like this and break, then I'd consider closing. But right now, this is totally valid. I'm keeping it open. Let's move back down and play it out once again. And boom, we get tapped in. It's a 50%. And we get to move up. Now, remember, I'm scalping here. So, number one, when I'm scalping, I want to keep it as mechanical as possible and discretion less as possible. So, for my entries are very structured, mechanical. It does this, I do that, right? And my targets have to be the same, or else you're going to be hindsight trading the rest of your life. So what I like to do is I'll target the 15-minute highs or lows, depending which way we're going. In this case, of course, I'm going to target the high. Me personally, I like to target the actual close or open of the bodies, the candles, and not the wicks. That's just me personally. I found out over testing that it usually seemed to be the best target. Or a lot of times the wick would be missed and then come out and take me out for break even or what have you. So me personally, I'm targeting the right there, and we do get a close for nice 13.5%. Also, what I'll do is, this is again is up to you. You can follow on the 5-minute structure. So I will do that. I will place my stop loss below 5-minute structure. But in this case, this came first, so I just took my profits there. All right, and that's it right there. Now, this looks pretty familiar now, doesn't it? So if we go out to the 1 hour, right, also from last week, we can see here on the 1 hour, we have basically the same idea, right? So we have our break of structure here, create an order block with inefficiency. Okay, moves down, taps in the order block, and there you go, Bob's your uncle, right? So this is a really good example here of how fractal the market can be, right? And you'll see entries within entries within entries within entries. So that's why I'm saying when I first started the video, focus on the higher time frames, because you're gonna see entries everywhere. So just one at a time, take it down slowly. Okay. Now I'm gonna point out something here on the 1 minute as well. If we look back here, I'm just gonna get rid of this. So right here, before it actually tapped me into my entry, what do we got here? We got these, oops, we have these equal lows here. So remember, I was speaking about liquidity earlier. So once you watch those videos, you understand this. But we got this liquidity under here, right? And then we have the order block just below. Now, understanding how retail traders work, this is beautiful here, right? This right here actually is like a war zone. This is where a lot of traders are losing their shirt. And I'll explain why right now. So we also have these equal highs here, right? Creating a little bit of liquidity there. So you got buyers wanting to buy here. You got sellers wanting to sell here. In fact, you even have if you want argument's sake, you have this break of structure, or sorry, break of the trend line. We got this momentum up, and then we have this bull flag to head higher. Now, the reason why this is a dangerous spot is, so these guys that are getting in on, let's say, the bull flag, right? They're putting their buys here and their stops below. Okay, great. They get in. Let's say they got in the lower time frame here. They get in, moves up. Okay, great. They're in some profit. Hopefully they lock some in. If not, they get taken out for break even. It breaks just below, or maybe even their stop loss. Breaks below, and then boom, heads the direction that they intended, right? So now these guys are kicking themselves for not getting in here. Okay, and then you got the sellers here. They're taking right out of their position, just blasts through, but in fact it's just taking liquidity, right? Actually hitting this order block here, and then breaking back down. And then you got the break and retest guys trying to buy here, blast right through. And then you got the buyers here for the double lows, and then blast through. And then you got breakout guys here. There's a lot of losing going on here, as you can see. So this is a perfect example of how liquidity works here. Look at all this liquidity right here. Okay, we have an order block there, so this just adds to it. So it's really helpful. Like, you guys that have come from a bunch of different strategies, you actually have an advantage here, because you can see how, like, let's say how you used to trade, right? And now you're going to use it to your advantage, saying, okay, I used to do this, but now I can see why it didn't work out, and I can see how I can basically play against that, right? Go against the retail traders and get in these real moves here, right? So yeah, this is how I added to my confluence. Double O's here, got some liquidity, order block. This is textbook right here. So yeah, guys, I hope that helps. I know I kind of rambled pretty quick there. If you guys have any other questions, just DM me straightly, or anyone else on the team. We'll be glad to help, guys. So hope this helps. Have a good week. Let's get it.